And welcome back, everybody, to 0 Point Reviews. We're doing Dutch this week, and for the record, you can kiss my ass for the record. That's what I think of this movie. This is a great flick. It's grossly underrated. I don't know why people hate on this one so much. I don't know. What do you think, Evan?
I've never heard anyone actually hate on this movie before.
Well, it's a John Hughes movie, and it's not
Oh,
considered one of his better ones, quote unquote, which I completely disagree with.
okay. Well, let's talk about that for just a moment because I have a huge bias against John Hughes movies.
Yeah.
The only one I really like is Weird Science, and that's more for Oingo Boingo and Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
But no, this is the one of his films which he only wrote. He did not direct this picture.
Correct.
That I truly, truly love from start to finish. Like it's just a swell, perfect holiday flick.
Yeah, it's a good storm for everybody involved. Like if I know it came out at like the height of like Married with Children, so when people saw this, they're like, "Oh, I thought I was gonna see Al Bundy in this," and you would get like a couple mannerisms, you get a couple like winks to it, but if anything, this movie proved that like Ed O'Neill could do much more than just Al Bundy, as he would later prove in his later career and his career before Married with Children. So, I mean, you got to look at this movie as proof concept that he could still do a dramatic role. And you can't really go wrong with that. At least he ended with an exclamation point on a dude's forehead.
Yeah, Christopher McDonald, man, Shooter McGavin.
He was in the movie for all of like 10 minutes, and he was the most despicable person in the movie.
He has like the greatest ability to be that character in almost everything he's in.
Yeah.
And it's funny. My favorite line of his doesn't come from a famous movie at all. It was the superhero movie, which was a spoof on all the early Spider-Man and X-Men type flicks. um, anyway, he's supposed to be like the Green Goblin type character, and he asks the Spider-Man type character, "Well, how are your parents?" And he says, "Well, they were killed in a horrific car accident 3 years ago." And he's like, "But otherwise, they're fine."
Oh my God. I've never heard of that.
It's called Superhero Movie. It was
Oh, I think I've heard of the movie. I don't think I've seen it though.
it's a Zucker spoof, so it's got Leslie Nielsen in it, which is nice, but
Oh,
it's it's okay. It's okay. It's got him and he's the bad guy, so it's funny enough for that.
well, yeah, we just watched a show on Netflix a few weeks ago that just came out, The Watcher. And it's, this family gets into this house in this weird neighborhood. It's very, very, very loosely based off of a show or off of real life events, but like they get letters in the mail, "Hey, we're watching your house." The whole thing's a bit on the it feels creepy at times. There's a mystery going on and whatnot, and much larger story at play. And he played the sheriff in it, and for the most part he seemed like he was a pretty decent sheriff until like the second half, when he found out he was kind of a scumbag of sorts, and then he got his heart broken by somebody, and then he went total dick.
I
It was like, dude knows how to play that character.
think my wife just finished watching that. She was telling me about a movie like that.
Oh yeah.
So, but I
It's
didn't.
not bad, but it's not great.
It's that's Netflix in a nutshell.
Well, although I did just watch 1899, check out our other 0 Point Review. I just threw that up yesterday, and that's a pretty solid show. They every once in a while they got a gem.
Is that from Yellowstone?
No, that's 1883, I believe.
Oh,
1899 is the uh, it looks like a ghost ship kind of show,
oh.
and it's really not.
Well then.
Well, I try not to talk too much about it and not allow enough people to see it, and but it's based off of the TV show Dark. I mean, or from the creators of Dark,
Mhm.
and it's largely just about you're following a sea ship in 1899 crossing the Atlantic to America. They come across a ship that's been lost for 4 months. It's basically been abandoned, except they find a kid on there who's been locked in a cabinet. And then from that point, the things that happened on that ship start happening on this ship. And it's like,
Uh,
what the hell is going on? And plenty of creepy moments, plenty of sci-fi moments, plenty of what am I watching? And plenty of what am I watching? So
it
there's
sounds
plenty of energy going on at times, and it's crazy, but it's not goofy at all. It's straight sci-fi.
that almost sounds like the Italian film The Bermuda Triangle.
When
It
we
sounds similar.
yeah. Yeah, when we're done recording, I'll give you a little more of a movies that it kind of relates to. If I tell you the movies and everybody listening or watching who's seen it, you might know what movies I might be mentioning that would basically give away the whole plot. And so, and that's just mentioning three movie titles. And if you've seen any one of them, you kind of know what the answer is.
Fair
Especially
enough.
one in particular. Especially one in particular. But anyway, we're talking Dutch here.
Dutch Thanksgiving, yes.
Happy
Holidays.
Thanksgiving, everybody. There's another recommendation for you.
Yeah, we're thankful for you. That's what we need to talk about this week. So
Yeah.
yeah, we thankful for all the support,
Okay,
patronizing us.
baby.
Yeah, that was impressive. But anyway, um, Dutch, it's I don't like holiday flicks. Like my favorite Christmas movie is Gremlins and Krampus. So for me to actually like a holiday flick, and again written by John Hughes, just this movie's just the bomb. Like I shouldn't like it, but I love every moment of it.
And most people's answers would be, it is a bomb, but it's not to us. Because I absolutely love this. On the John Hughes scale, I rank this towards the top. I don't mind some of his other movies, but people point at like The Breakfast Club, and I'm like, no. That never hit for me, never landed for me. The actors were great, but that's all I can really say about that. I really didn't care for the movie. If I wanted a movie like that, I'd watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
See, I would never ever want a movie like that. You guys know I hate movies that involve kids outsmarting adults, and uh, I
Well,
prefer it's when the kids try to outsmart the adults and the adults end up killing the kids, like slasher style.
well,
That's
special shout out to Corin Nemec, friend of us, and Parker Lewis Can't Lose,
and The Stand.
and The Stand, and Stargate SG-1 for his season.
That's true. That's true. Um, but yeah, this movie has elements of a whole bunch of other films that I really like. Joe Beth Williams from Poltergeist, of course.
Yep.
We already talked about Christopher McDonald and, of course, Ed O'Neill, which for our generation is like a second dad to us in various forms. Um, so, of course, Dutch felt really natural in that regard for us and people like us that watched a lot of Married with Children. And then Kathleen Hellman, who's in like three of my favorite movies anyway, which like
Oh yeah.
Gremlins 2, Blues Brothers. She's awesome as hell, but they didn't give her much of any speaking lines, which was kind of a missed opportunity.
Yeah, that was kind of strange. I never really noticed that before this rewatch this last time.
Yeah, yeah. But there was some things that I can't say I noticed this time, but there were things that just kind of stood out as ridiculous. Um, like the people that try to end up helping them at the restaurant.
Oh, the people that took him to the mission or whatever that was.
Yeah,
I still can't quite figure out what that was. Whether it was a mission or like an overnight stay shelter, like a YMCA. I wasn't quite sure.
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
I know they said it, but I'm like, wait, what?
I want to say it was a shelter, but again I couldn't say.
Yeah.
But yeah, because the wife was talking about the husband's friend is on the board or some crap like that of like
Yeah.
owning this big shelter. But that was I don't know if that was a rib, a jab, or just an observation on the somewhat upper class white people in that time, like taking on the homeless epidemic.
Hmm.
Because like they were just very proud of themselves for being able to help a homeless family. And you're just kind of like, oh, you guys come off as really haughty and not the hot sort of way.
You mean the couple that took them there, or what they
Yeah.
did for the couple that took them to the house at the end in their station wagon?
Oh no, that was wonderful.
Okay,
Uh,
because I actually really like that touch. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, the
no,
other
that was
people
wonderful.
from the restaurant. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
The really dorky rich white folks is the only way you can say that.
Yeah.
Um, like that, I don't know why that just kind of stood out to me. I just wanted to like pick at them and riff it every time they said something. But like this movie is really about bringing you down to humility, like all the way down to
Oh
the
yeah.
bottom of where you can be.
High
But
class to no class.
yes, I was telling my wife, I wish we had Steven on this recording with us because Steven would pick the whole thing apart.
Yep.
um, like it very much, it's talking about new money versus old money, white collar versus blue collar. It's they talk about those sort of issues without preaching. I mean, they do to a point, but it's you're still having fun laughing at it the whole time.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it's I did it. I did it again. I lost my train of thought.
Oh, that's okay because you're kind of going along a line I was gonna go with as well as like this is really a good character study
Oh yeah,
on humanity going feeling like you're at the top of the mountain and then realizing what it's like really down at the bottom. And they did that basically with Ethan Embry's character Doyle, although they credited him as Ethan Randall, which I thought was weird. I didn't really understand that. I didn't research to see why that was like that and why he moved his name to Ethan Embry. But he was really good in this role. Like you could really feel like his character being like struggling and struggling and then fighting like, I hate my mom, I hate everything, you're middle class. And it just you followed his descent down into your being humble, like you said. And at the end, he's like, no, I love my mom. You're an asshole. I'm staying with her. And he had that whole experience, the whole ride with like experiencing life and being
yeah.
resourceful and doing things on your own, not being having it handed to you. So this movie had a message. And if you didn't notice that, then I don't think you were watching the movie close enough for it. There's a lot going on. So I'll give points on like that to someone like middling looks at this movie. Like there is a lot going on. But if you focus on just Ed O'Neill as oh God, what's his name again?
Dutch
Dutch.
dude. Yeah, Dutch Dooley.
What the fuck? I need more caffeine, apparently.
It's not
But
just me.
you're following basically Dutch and Doyle the entire movie, and everybody else is just kind of outside of them. It's very reminiscent of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And that's why I think they're both a great pairing because you have this dynamic and then you have that other dynamic with John Candy and Steve Martin in that movie. And for a Thanksgiving movie, it's fun for the whole family. There's something in here for everybody. I saw this at the age of like, I don't know how close I was to Doyle's age in this flick, but seeing the racy card and then hanging out with the call girls in the Camaro, I'm like, every boy that age would have done the same thing. And if you
Yeah.
think you would have done more than what he did, you're lying to yourself.
Not without that $200. No.
But even his realization of like, hey, you were asleep and I was horny. was He's like, yep, I they got me too. But I gotta ask you a quick question. I have somehow this weird memory of this movie having a different ending where, you know, like a little bit like at Christmas time, like they're putting the tree up and, the girlfriend shows up at the door, like the call girl who was in the Camaro, and she shows up and they end up having Christmas together. And that's when Dutch shoots him. But I clearly am mixing up some other movie because when I watch this, I'm like, I have the Blu-ray and I've watched it a few times, but every time I watch this movie, I feel like, am I missing a scene or am I completely misremembering something here?
I'm not sure. I only have the DVD, so I've never really
Hmm.
seen any special features for it. So I don't know if it was alternate
Ah,
take or anything like that.
no, not on the Blu-ray. I just got to be mixing it up with a different movie, but I always thought it had a little more of a different ending than what I was. But I love the ending on this,
Oh yeah.
where he actually shoots him in the gonads.
And he had it coming. Now,
He
I
told
think
him he
it's
would get him.
yeah, and that's the great thing about him is like he never lies. It's everything he says, he stand up like he's gonna do it, including shooting the kid in the ass or the nuts.
Yep.
But I think it's worth pointing out that that was a pellet gun, not a BB gun.
Right.
It hurts a lot more, and those things are made to like penetrate skin.
Yeah, not no bueno.
No, like I felt bad for Ed O'Neill, the shit that was happening to him between getting his nose fucking broken, getting shot in the nuts with the pellet gun, blowing up his down jacket with the fucking fireworks.
That was great.
Which I think this movie was both my first exposure to fireworks stores as well as racy playing cards.
No, I
Um,
see playing cards for me. I don't fireworks stores out in like Wisconsin and the neighboring states. There's fireworks.
See, there wasn't in California. Like everything's
No, no,
bone
no.
dry and dead. So it's like the
Banned.
cops got, yeah, everything was banned, starting with firecrackers.
Yep, that's where the band hammer was invented.
Unfortunately, so. But this, like, if you like fireworks, this movie is going to have something for you because it's got one of the funnier pyro shows that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, and you could say, how funny can a pyro scene be? It's got Al Bundy in it. So just, it's great.
Yeah, just don't go in expecting you're gonna see Al Bundy the whole movie. You might feel like that like the second the movie starts for about like maybe 15-20 minutes, but after that you kind of forget he's Al Bundy for the rest of the movie. But then when the movie's over with, you're like, that wasn't bad for Al Bundy. Oh wait, he's not Al Bundy in this movie.
No, but you can see a little bit of Jay Pritchett in it. Uh,
Yep.
a little
Modern
bit more
Family.
serious, yeah. Which again is another fucking fantastic role that he's done.
He was the best
Where
part of that show in my book.
oh yeah, yeah, I'd say he's up there
Or
with
one of them. Yeah.
Eric Stone Street kills me, but we'll go off on a different time.
Yeah.
Um, um, but he's always had that, like I said, like both of us agreed, he's got that fatherly tone to him. So I think ultimately this movie was perfect for him.
Oh
I
yeah.
think he gave more credibility in this film than what the film could have had or would have had without him.
Right. Well, what I like is he took the approach and how they probably wrote it as well, is that at the end of the movie, he's like, I'll never be this kid's father. I'm his friend. I'm going to marry, your ex, his mother. We're going to be married. I'm going to be around. You need to be a better father. So it was like, in like the span of like 4 seconds with just two sentences, he kind of made it clear, like, I'm not replacing this kid as a father. That's your job. You need to do a better job. And I'm here to be his friend and look out for him.
Yeah, right. And you'd hope Shooter was listening at that point because he'd just pissed himself, got conked in the fucking head with
And took
the
a
giant
took a
fucking
header by
ring.
his car.
Yeah, so it's like you'd figure things would be soaking in at that point. Like he done fucked up. He's
And
fucked
he's like,
up.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's like he knew like he was totally fucked up.
Oh yeah, and this movie's got some like great quotes that I've carried on through life. Like you hurt her, and I'll punch you so fucking hard your dog will bleed. Like
I had to rewind that. I'm like, that I have my favorite moments in this that I'd always rewind and just replay again.
uh yeah, like it's I can't think of what the other one was. Oh, I don't care if you live, die, or grow mushrooms in your crack. That's been another favorite of mine since I saw this flick as a kid.
That's a pretty good one. I started off with the one that I liked the most, and that was for the record. And then he's like, you can kiss my ass for the record.
For the record. And then you can't beat a good Ford, or you can't beat a Ford for good brakes,
Yep.
which you can, but maybe not back then.
I don't know. Well, I
I don't
think I had
know.
one more line I wrote down as, oh no, it's the you hurt her. Um, no, wait. I'm not enrolled here because my father is an employee. And the other kid said back, "At least I have a father."
Burn.
I don't know. I that just slayed me this time around. I know that line has been there for ever since I watched the movie, but it's like that was good. Kids give as well as they take. You know, I grew up in that era. We did do shit like that.
Oh, of course. But like the sigh of relief that kid had when Doyle said no, he wouldn't be going to his house for Thanksgiving. Like
It's
he
like,
was kind of
yeah,
like, oh,
motherfucker.
thank God, yes.
Yeah. He's like, I just
um,
had to ask. Bye.
yeah, like I honestly, I would have just lied to my mother and been like, oh yeah, I asked him just the other day. He said no, fuck off.
Well, he could have asked in a roundabout way, but he chose not to. He's like, no, I'll ask.
Yeah, yeah, and then go ahead and have fun wallowing in your own self pity.
Yep.
Which did you notice? Even his cactus, his plant was a cactus.
Yeah.
Like that, totally symbolic. Needs nothing, hates everything. No one wants it.
Pompous little ass.
Yeah, he was, but he did so good at this role,
Yeah,
so
I did.
good.
Yeah.
And then, did you look up who the older prostitute was? Did you check that
I
out?
didn't do that. No.
Okay, so that's Elizabeth Daily, who plays Haley. Uh, and I just realized for whatever reason she is best known for playing Tommy Pickles, uh, Babe the pig,
Ah,
Wendy and Eek the cat, Bam Bam and all the Flintstones, and most importantly, but certainly not last, or last but not most, she's Dottie from Pee Wee's Big Adventure. So like she knows about loners and rebels and shit like that.
oh.
Yeah, I saw that one. Like, son of a bitch, that's Dottie, but she's all done up and shit like that.
I mean, she looked familiar, but I'm like, who?
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, because it's like I knew I knew the name somewhere, I just couldn't place it. So I, of course I looked it up and I was like, oh, that's Babe.
Yep.
That'll do, chick. That'll do.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, that was just kind of fun. There were some people in this movie that didn't go anywhere, and then there were some people that just kept going on a good path.
Yeah, there was a little something for about everybody in this.
Yeah. For a movie that's basically a series of, it's almost like play sketches,
A little
scenes,
bit. Yeah.
which it felt nice, like it helped the movie flow better, between each place that they'd stop, albeit the train station where they'd have to get their asses beat, the prostitutes, the rich people that pick them up and drop them off, and of course their final ride, being dropped off at this wonderful palatial type house by the homeless people, where you're just kind of like, ooh, this is awkward.
Yeah.
would you guys like to come in, or just no? No, good, okay.
Yep.
um but no, instead of that, of course, like you pointed out at the beginning, Dutch gives him his card and says, call me in the morning and we'll find something for you.
Call me first thing Monday morning. We'll see what we can do for you.
Yeah, and you're just kind of like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Still could have let them come in and go pee, but still.
Unless they were
Uh,
heading to family. I don't think we really knew exactly what their deal was.
yeah, I'm not sure. and
That
and
would
that's
make sense to me, but they should have at least had a throwaway line where they had that in there.
yeah, it was really nice to see, like, that whole Thanksgiving thing just kind of come around full circle, where again he's helping somebody that's very much blue collar because he's been the blue collar before. um it was neat, and again, it's not forced, and the way it was done was admirable. Like,
Yep.
you're super proud of him, the way he was proud of Doyle when he split the role with the little girl.
Yep.
And that was a sign, more or less, of where we talked about before, he was starting to empathize with other people
Oh yeah.
and relate to people, which he'd never really done before. Which, who could blame him with that kind of money in life?
Sure, right. I mean, he owned his own construction business. I mean,
Oh, let's talk about Doyle.
oh yeah.
Well, the construction business, I love that because he's so unassuming. You
Yep.
know, starting off driving cement trucks, or what was it, dump trucks or cement trucks?
Cement trucks, I thought.
Yeah. Um, and he's not boastful. Everyone just kind of assumes that he's nobody because they don't know him.
Right.
So, but it does come full circle. The dad, like you said, he gets his brain trauma. He gets called out for ditching the kid,
Oh yeah.
and again, the kid gets shot in the fucking nuts, and you couldn't really be happier for him. And then you wind up being happy for him because he was just such a wretched little shit. Like you were happy that he got shot in the fucking nuts.
Oh yeah, right.
Even though he learned his lesson, like you were still like, oh, thank God he still got it in the nuts. But I'm not a violent person. I'm a pacifist.
No, but that was hilarious.
Yeah. And then the music they played for that scene and then the racy playing cards. I don't know why. Like I've just always loved that tune. Uh and when yeah, when this first came out, I thought racy playing cards was like bicycle playing cards, like it was a
Or race
brand name.
cars.
Yeah, or something like that. So I'd end up like going to like card shops or magic shops or what have you, asking if they had racy playing cards, not exactly knowing what the word racy meant in the adult world.
Yep.
And looking back on it, it's kind of like, well, I should feel like an ass, but I grew up to be an ass anyway, so I can't really like feel bad about it. Fuck them.
Nope. Them's the breaks.
Yeah, but never did get those fucking racy playing cards that I always wanted.
I don't think I did either.
That or the wallet that says bad motherfucker. That's still on my to-do list.
Yep.
So, but one of the things that we usually ask, I don't think we covered it this time. Did you see this in the theater?
No, I do remember seeing it on VHS tape though. And I
I,
don't have the DVD, but I do own the Blu-ray when it came out. And unfortunately for anybody watching our video, if you go to find that Blu-ray, it's kind of expensive now. You might want to just go get that DVD. It's not nearly as pricey, and this is not streaming anywhere.
and that's a shame. Like, I really don't know why this movie's not more popular. I don't understand.
It's a Warner Brothers film. I don't. It should be on like freaking HBO Max. I'm
Uh,
just saying.
yeah, we can go off on that tangent. But Warner's, as I've said several times, is like notorious for not putting any money or faith in behind things unless
Or
it's
their
like,
catalog, yeah.
yeah, like there's no special features to like Goodfellas on their DVD, and it's a two-sided disc, just like an old laser disc. They could have upgraded it, but they're just like, nah, fuck it. Like I figure if you even found Goodfellas today on DVD, it'd probably be the same stupid format.
I think they did something with the 4K, but I don't know. I don't really have that, so
Yeah, that's it. If the movie's not like Harry Potter or Batman, they're not going to fucking put a whole lot
Spartacus
of,
or anything like that, yeah.
yeah, there's not going to be a whole lot of effort from Warner Brothers when it comes to special features.
Well, just look at the Freddy or not. Look at the Nightmare on Elm Street. We're talking about like the DVD box set from like 20 years ago is still better than the Blu-rays they put out,
Yes,
and it had all these extras.
and 3D glasses. Woohoo!
Indeed, just
um,
saying.
yeah, which is nice because I do have my original Freddy Vision glasses. I just have no idea where they're at, but
Hmm,
I kept those from the theater.
there you go.
Um, but this, I don't think I saw it in the theater. I might have, but I remember seeing a preview of it and very much wanting to find it or go see it.
Yeah.
So I know it was definitely something on VHS that I picked up really quick, but it was something I know I'd seen the trailer for and was like actively seeking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have much else, so I'm going to ask you,
Oh,
what is your rating on this? Thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, or thumbs down?
I'll give this one two great big thumbs up again because it's a sleeper. It's one of my favorite movies. Um, and it's one of those movies that I attribute it kind of like The Princess Bride, where it's like there's nothing bad about this movie. it could be more famous, but for the most part, it's a 5-star pick. It's pretty good.
Yep, and I'm doing my Dutch thumb exercises. I'm going 2 thumbs up.
I always love that where he's just gonna let's stretch this little fucker
Yep, we got to get to
out.
work here, buddy. But
All right.
yeah, I'm just gonna say happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. This has been Suns and Shadows cast, and we'll see you next time with planes, trains, and automobiles. Make sure you check us out on all of our social media platforms. We got Facebook, Twitter. We are at Suns and Shadows. We're also on Instagram at Suns and Shadows Cast. We are at sunsandshadows.com. Thank you again, everybody, and we'll see you down the road.